On March 10th of 1980, I was going to school in Mississauga, Ontario, Lakeshore to be exact, and Billy Joel was actually coming up with his seventh album, a answer to the music that times that were changing. He had just finished 52nd Street, and that had pretty much been a decent album, but it wasn't exactly getting the critical raves. And music was changing at the time. It was becoming a little bit more harder in that period, poppyish, more punk. Punk was becoming more prevalent. So Billy Joel decided that he was going to put out an album that was going to shatter his image that we'd seen before with albums like The Stranger and 52nd Street. That album is what we're going to talk about here today in my very first episode of It's Still Rock and Roll to Me. Just like in 1980 when Billy Joel was changing up his image, well, I just wanted to do some different stuff with my channel here. I've been off for a bit and I've been coming on doing a couple of unboxings of that, but I really wanted to freshen up the channel, and I hope you guys enjoy this. Every once in a while I'm going to come in with this one of these It's Still Rock and Roll to Me, basically, where I'm going to take an entire album and I'm going to review it song by song, how I feel about the songs, and where I think it fits in, like in the history of that singer and that time period. And I thought this would be probably the best album to start with. I thought about going with The Stranger, but in the end I went with It's Still Rock and Roll to Me. Still Rock and Roll is the most famous song on this one, but the album itself is called Glass Houses. It is his seventh album, like I mentioned before, and it came right after 52nd Street. It was the third album that he did with a producer who did The Stranger with him as well. So there was The Stranger, 52nd Street, and then there's this one. This was Billy Joel changing his image, trying to give a harder type image and give an answer to punk music, which had become very popular at the time. Critics were kind of ravaging Billy Joel and saying he was a little bit out of touch. He's more of a balladeer. He wasn't like he wasn't going to be one of those guys that lasted like for a long period of time. And obviously, he proved them wrong. But I've listened to the album now about like 10 to 12 times to actually get to do this review for you guys. The album starts off with breaking a glass, basically signifying that Billy Joel is shattering his old image and coming up with this harder, tougher, more gritty, streetwise Billy Joel is actually going to be talking to you like with some harder messages, some stronger music, some more not all ballads. And does he? Well, let's find out. The first song basically is "You May Be Right," and "You May Be Right" was a fun little song to start it off with. It's a little bit edgier. It's a riskier Billy Joel. The character that's talking in the song is there to take. My Siri just started. Is there to take chances, and it's just a fantastic little song. It has aged really, really well, actually. And if you listen to it today, you can just sit back and listen to it. And its replayability factor is extremely high. I'm going to be talking about as I go along, the replayability factor of all these songs as well. You May Be Right is one of those songs that I always remember. And who doesn't remember that classic Breaking the Glass? We follow up with what is one of my favorite songs on this album. There's 3 or 4 songs here that pretty much encompass what I think are the greatest songs on this album here for me personally. And Sometimes a Fantasy is one of them. Sometimes a Fantasy, if you've ever seen the official video for that, it deals with a guy that's going to call this girl and basically in the middle of the night and talk to her and tell her how he feels. And though he can't be there with her, he can be with her over the phone. So we're getting a little bit of the whole like phone sex thing in a way, in a mild way. It's even kind of mentioned, referenced in the video in some very clever editing that's done in the video itself. Sometimes a Fantasy starts off with kind of more of a harder edge, kind of a harder bop to it, if you want to say. And it's one of those songs that I find really, really re-listenable. The video is amazing. You get the clean-shaven and the bearded, darker Billy Joel character, which is kind of like the him changing into this this different image. And it's a really great song. If you haven't listened to it in a while, or if you've never listened to it before, try and discover it. Try and find the official video if you can on YouTube. I find that to be really fun, but it's just one of those fantastic songs. It may not be the best song on the album, it's one of my favorites. The third one is, well, don't ask me why. And it's standard Billy Joel. It's getting back to the Billy Joel that you're probably more used to if you've been listening to him before. It's the same type of song that you would see on The Strange, or that you would see on 52nd Street. It's it's more of like an easier listening Billy Joel. Don't ask me why. It's a good song, and it still holds up today. But it seems more in place, not so much on this album as it would be on one of the earlier albums, especially with the kind of like the harder Enter the Punk edge that this album was supposed to have. The next one is probably the most popular song on this one, and it's still rock and roll to me. It's a great song about, it's a very personal song. And it suits this album and what this album is all about, the whole concept of this album, in a strange way. And it kind of goes against it in a strange way as well. Basically, it's Billy Joel as a singer talking to his producer and saying, you know, my music is going to last. I don't need to change to fit what's cool right now, because my music will last the time. I don't have to change with every style, with every musical taste to stay relevant. I will stay relevant no matter what. My music will last will last and endure the test of time, and it really did. It did that. All that being said, it was number one for 6 weeks on the pop charts, and it was his first song to ever do that. Fantastic song, and a harder song. It's a rock song, and everything it's saying is kind of almost exactly kind of the opposite of what the album is doing, because the album is showing a harder side to Billy Joel, where he is changing his music just a little bit to combat the music of the taste of the day. But he's doing that and still letting people know that with the song here, he's still, no matter, he may be singing a little harder, the lyrics are still the same, fantastic Billy Joel written lyrics, and he is going to be true to himself. The last song on side A for this one here, because I'm doing it by size, is one of my favorites. And one of the hardest songs I think on the album is All for Lena. All for Lena is a song about obsession. It's a song about a man who has a one-night stand and just completely becomes obsessed, falls for this girl. It's wrecking his life. It's ruining his relationships, his friends, his family. It's probably ruining her life as well. And he just can't get over this girl. It is insanely dark, super personal, and I think everybody, man or female, can relate to this at one time or another, and have been on both sides of this of this song. You've been the person that's been like kind of pushing back the one you don't want, the person that's a little bit clingy, a little obsessively, and you've been the person that's looking at that person and wondering why that didn't work out. And this song takes that and to an even stronger degree. It is a fantastic song. Billy Joel is really raw and real. It's a harder song. It's got more of an edge to it, and especially for Billy Joel's music, it is dark, but it is really good. Let's flip over to the side B now and see what's on there. Look at side 2. We start off with a fantastic little song called I Don't Want to Be Alone. And I really don't know what to say about this song here, other than it's one of my go-to songs that I listen to every once in a while, because I just find it fun. It's a fun song about people whose relationship, from what I get out of it, relationship maybe didn't make it, and they're kind of making a reconnection. Listen to the song, enjoy the lyrics. I'm just going to say it's a great start to side 2. Fantastic listen. Now here's the song that's probably least known, and in my mind, probably the best and one of the most real songs that Billy Joel's ever written on any album. And if you haven't heard the song, please look it up because it is a fantastic song. YouTube this song, iTunes, buy it, whatever. Sleeping with the Television On is just a great, great song. You know, when it's like you're at a bar and you see that girl and you want to talk to her so bad, or you're that guy, and you can see in her eyes you want to go up and you don't have the courage to do it because you fear that, you know, this is one person you don't want to be rejected by. But in doing so, you've rejected yourself from being with this person that you want to be with. And on her side, you can see this look in her eyes that she wants you to come over, and talk to her, and yet the guard's up because she's been hurt. And you don't know if you're going to be saying basically what the last person that came up to her, the last creep that came up to her said. And you don't want to be that creep, and you want to be seen as that creep. She wants you to come up to her, but she doesn't because she's been hurt and she's damaged. You're hurt and you're damaged. So you stay at different ends of the room and you look at each other and your eyes catch every once in a while. But it never goes past that. You should be dancing on that dance floor. You should be talking. You should be sharing a drink. But you're not going to because the damage and the fear is keeping you apart. And that, my friends, is Sleeping with the Television On, one of Billy Joel's ultimate great, great songs that you need to listen to. And my choice for song of the album. Next up is not one of his favorites, one that he's kind of disowned. I thought it was okay. And oh God, if I say the French title, c'est toi? You were the one. Anyway, Billy Joel can speak French, or at least at that point, about as well as I do. And it shows on the song. So, although the song is kind of fun, the French is clumsy, and it does kind of get in the way of the song a little bit. It's got a nice beat, there's a nice melody to it, but the song overall is not one of the most memorable songs. It is probably one of the least memorable songs on this album. But still, that being said, it has a nice kind of light tone. It doesn't really suit the rest of the album. There's one more song that really stands out in that way. But it's a decent song. Song number 9 is Close to the Borderline. And again, we're getting back to a more edgy song, a more risky song, a more like a harder edge Billy Joel style song, and a favorite of mine. I really loved it. It's and this is one that I think doesn't get enough credit as well. It's one of those songs that that's a great song, well put together, just well done. The beat's fantastic, but it just hasn't gotten the play or the coverage that some of the other ones have. And we end off this album with Through the Lonely Night, and it seems like a safe song. There's nothing really like overtly memorable about this song. It's a good song overall. It doesn't really seem to kind of like fit the same way that the You Were the One doesn't totally fit in with the with the feel of the album. This one really doesn't fit in with the feel of the album. It's a nice little song again, but it's a safe song. It's like Billy Joel putting on that extra song to keep him safe, to keep it like, okay, this is more of my old stuff. This is more what I was, and rather than like kind of like being the full, complete hard edge through and through album that he was trying to make on with the album Glass Houses. So, how was Glass Houses overall? It's a fantastic album. It has 10 tracks on it, and out of the 10 tracks, count there, we're looking like at 8 extremely solidly fantastic tracks, with 2 that are good tracks, but they don't fit the album as well as the rest of the concept album goes. It is a fantastic album, and it is by far one of the great Billy Joel albums of all time. Very rarely will you find an album that really just has such a solid presentation all the way through and just keeps going in the way that Glass Houses does. Glass Houses would be Billy Joel's hardest edged album that he would have. You would go back to kind of like a safer, more the normal Billy Joel that you're probably used to seeing right now. And it's not a bad thing because Billy Joel is very good at doing what Billy Joel does. Overall, Glass Houses is a superb album, and it belongs in everyone's collection. If you have a turntable, if you got a record player like me, then definitely look for Billy Joel's Glass Houses. It belongs in your record collection. If you're one of the digital people, it does belong in your on your iTunes. It just is one fantastic album. And yes, you can get Billy Joel's Greatest Hits Volume 1 and Volume 2 to get a lot of that stuff. But some of those songs that you really want to get probably aren't on there. I've got the greatest hits as well as this album as well on in different formats. And you want to hear songs like Sleeping with the Television On. You really do. You want to hear All for Lena. You want to hear Sometimes the Fantasy. You don't just want to hear You May Be Right and It's Still Rock and Roll to Me. You want to get into like listen to some of these better, I'm not saying better, but just songs that don't get enough play. You've heard Still Rock and Roll to Me so many times. You've heard It May Be Right so many times. But let yourself discover songs like Sleeping with the Television On. You'll be glad you did. Thanks for watching the very first, hopefully not only episode of It's Still Rock and Roll to Me. I'm the Professor. Just keep listening. Keep it rock. Keep it real. For me, it's always time for rock and roll, and it's always time for tea. Have a great night, guys, because I am out of here.